I had an inquiry about exercises, Qigong exercises for the immune system. I've done a whole series of them on our healing Qigong, but there's a couple of things that the person asked me a particular question about how the perverse qi and the energy of the bacteria and viruses, how does that affect itself? So I'm going to explain that in a graphic way so that your mind can see what I'm saying. How's that? Make it easier for you to understand. I'll paint a picture of it for you. Because it's probably easier. I think a lot of people see by visually, they see visually, so I'm going to paint you a picture so you visually can make a picture up in your head. So the exercise we'll use for it will be, we'll take one out of the metal element, which is the lungs and large intestine, from the 5-element Qigong series. Yep, we'll use that particular one as an example. So we start with our fingers facing towards the ground, or facing towards each other like that, like a diamond. Yep, the hands come up to the front, up to your chest, up in front of your lungs, and they go forward from your lungs. They go to the side, and then the hands come down. Yep, that's the exercise. And you breathe in as you come up, and you breathe out. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Good. So there's 4 parts of the exercise. And there's 4 things that happen in the exercise, not just one thing. So we've got 4 breath pattern. We've got to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, yep. But in each of those aspects, something different happens in this part of the exercise. So I just want to give this is a little bit more of a depth understanding of this exercise. So the first one, when we're breathing in the energy from the ground, from the earth, which is yin in nature, the energy of the earth. We're breathing in energy through our kidney points into our body, yep. And then we're turning it around, and then we're breathing out what they call perverse qi, perverse energy out of the body. Yeah? Then we breathe in the energy from heaven, and then we breathe all the surplus qi back down into your lower dantian. So all that's happening. So each of those stages has an explanation to each of them to understand it. Otherwise, you might not understand what I just said. So the first one, the yin of the energy of the earth. So yin energy it's a nurturing energy. It has an energy that stabilizes our body on this planet and connects us to the energy of the earth, which is the governing energy. If we have gravity, it holds you on the earth so we can connect to this energy. Electricity needs to be earthed. You need an earth. To do that, to have positive energy, you have to have an earth. Well, this is the same as us because we are like a big giant wet cell battery. And so our energy needs to be earthed as well. So that's where the energy comes up from the ground. So you're drawing that energy into your body and you're using the energy, the yin energy or Mother Nature energy, and you're using that to send perverse qi out through the hands as we go forward. Now, this is the part I want to explain. So, if you think of a bacteria or a virus, bacteria is a live entity. It can reproduce itself, and I'll give you a picture of one that looks like this with little arms and legs. I'm not sure it has head and eyes, but it doesn't matter. It's this live thing. Where a virus is quite different because a virus is not a living thing. A virus actually needs a host to survive. It needs to be in a cell to survive. It can't live by itself. It actually needs a host because it can't reproduce itself either. And that's why there's always been this debate whether it's actually a live entity or not because it actually can't reproduce itself. It's alive in one way, but it needs a host. So if we go back to the battery, which is the easy one to understand, they both have energetic fields. So around the bacteria, it's the bacteria's energy. Like we have a human, we have energy field of ourselves. Well, the bacteria has an energy field as well. So does the virus, has an energy field. Yep. So what we're doing is we're taking the energy field off the bacteria and we're projecting that energy field out of our body. So we're taking off the virus as well. So what happens, of course, once the bacteria loses its energy, it fails to exist. The same if we lose our energy out of our body, we're no longer here anymore, we're dead. Yeah. Because you can't survive with energy. That's what keeps you alive. It's what keeps the bacteria alive. It's its own form of energy that's inside the bacteria or inside the virus. Yep. So we understand what we're doing in our mind is we're disembowering the energy. That's a great word, isn't it? Disembowering the energy from the bacteria and taking the energy and pushing that energy, that perverse qi, the energy of that out of the body because we don't want it in the body. And as it happens, then the bacteria is going to go boof, and then our T cells and our all our immune system inside our body can go and pick up all these corpses of the energyless bacteria and viruses and take them out of the body. That's what we're doing inside our mind because that's what we perceive that's happening. Yeah? So we breathe the energy from the earth. We use the energy from the earth, the yin energy, to take this energy off the bacteria and the virus and push it out of our body. So we're taking it out of it, so we're disempowering it all. Then we breathe in from heaven to charge up the kidney yin and the lung yin, and then breathe out. Good. Now we're going to go back to the breathe into heaven. So earth energy is the ground we stand on. Anything to do with a mountain that's still attached to the earth is still to do with the yin energy of the earth. But everything above the ground, from on the top part of my foot upwards, that is seen as yang energy. It's not yang energy, it's in heaven. Well, it is in heaven too, but it just starts from here and goes up. So all of this we stand in and in heaven is all part of yang energy. And this is understanding of traditional Chinese medicine, or inside the theory of Chinese medicine. So when we talk about this, we get to here, then we're breathing in the energy which we're standing in. That's the air we can't see. We're breathing in that energy into our body, because now we've pushed out all this perverse chi out of the body. There's a vacuum now, and we're going to fill it up with energy from yang. We fill it up. So all the lung cells get filled up with all the lung energy, the yang energy, and all the meridians of the large intestine and the lungs get filled up with the yang energy. And our lung organs themselves get filled up with yang energy from heaven. And the surplus energy, that lung energy, goes back to a lower dantian, goes breathing out, back to a lower dantian. And from a lower dantian it goes back to the kidneys, which is like our battery. So that's the process. So it comes up from the ground, the perverse chi of the bacteria, breathe it out. So get it out of the body, so it's just become disempowered. Breathe in the yang energy from heaven, and then pack that the energy from yang back into the kidneys, back into the lungs. You're packing it into the lung meridian, you're packing it into the lungs themselves, the yang, after it's gone out. Yep. So that's what this exercise does, and that's a little bit more. There's more to it than that, but that'll do. But when we talk about perverse chi too, the bacteria energy or the virus energy, these things that live inside us, or you can use fungus. We have lots of internal funguses inside our cells, and parasites and all sorts of things. They all have energy. They all have. They're functioning. They're alive. Fungus is alive. It reproduces itself. Parasites reproduce itself. So we're not just talking about bacteria. We're just talking. I use that as an example because it's a big thing at the moment. But we're talking about the energy of that, and all of those things. We're disempowering all of it and sending it out. But that's not the only perverse chi we have in our body. Where there's other forms of chi. Perverse chi. I'm not just saying that that's the only one, because it's not. We have emotional perverse chi. We have toxic perverse chi, when you've taken toxins in your body, not actually in a physical form, but you could take, what's an example, if you had mercury in your body or you had lead in your body, it's a toxic form. It has a toxic energy inside your body, and so that's part of the perverse chi. Emotion can have emotional toxicity, where you have lots of emotions that are creating negative energy inside your body. You get rid of those. So there's lots of different parts of the perverse chi. It's not just the bacteria or the virus. There's lots of pieces to it. But anyway, we're getting rid of all of it at once. So that's it. So breathing in from the ground, breathing out all the perverse chi from all of those things we just talked about. Could take us a little while. And then breathe in from yang, just energize our body again. We pack the chi into the kidneys and into the lungs, build up our wei chi level. And then we continue doing it and do it again. So we're just doing a cleansing process, breathing in from the ground, breathing out the toxic load, breathing in the good chi, feel the expansion, and we're packing the good chi inside our body. Yep. And that's a bit more detailed about this particular exercise, but understand the principle of what's happening, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. That's why these exercises are so fantastic. They're so multifaceted. There's so many different parts to them. Breathing in. And this particular one has 4 parts to it. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. And you can do this in the morning, do it 10 times in the morning, or do it 12 times. 12 times is a good number. Anything in multiples of 3. 12 times in the morning, 12 times at night. You're just going to boost your immune system and make you stronger. But it's called Wei Chi. Wei Chi is W-E-I. And Wei Chi is like your force field around the outside of the body. There's an internal defensive mechanism, but the external mechanism is called Wei Chi. And it's like as I say, it's like the force field around the outside, and it's funded by the kidneys and the lungs. The lungs are primarily responsible for the Wei Chi level. So if your lung Chi's down, then your Wei Chi level's down. That's why you get colds and things, because your Wei Chi's down. You're going to get colds because the cold energy gets into your body, because normally it will keep it out. Yep. Or you get too much heat in your body, will create a pathogen as well. So understand that, and then when you create that hot cold, then the bacteria can come in and out because our own immune system's stopping that as well. Or the immune system's compromised, so it's not stopping it, so it can come in a lot easier because your defensive army at the doorways of all the orifices in your body are not guarding your body, and it's easy for them to infiltrate inside your body. Yeah? There you go. That's a bit about the immune system. That's how traditional Chinese medicine sees it. And that exercise is really useful for you to do. Okay, hopefully that's useful. Have any questions? Please ask me if you have any questions around that. I love Chinese medicine. It has a great understanding of how our body energetically works. Cool. Cool. Have a great day, eh? Bye-bye.